Why don't schools teach us about money? How did the public school curriculum get to where it is today? What are some important lessons that your kids need to be learning about money? And how can you make sure that your kids are not left behind? My name is Arman, and these are some of the questions that we'll be answering in today's video on Simple Money. The National Financial Educators Council has reported that financial education has proven to be successful and beneficial 100% of the time that students have learned it, compared to only 19% of students that reported that high school level algebra was useful at their jobs. Which begs the question, why isn't financial education taught in schools? In the 17th century, education was more of a dream than it was a requirement. The expectation at the time was that children would be helping around the home or maybe around the farm, and any education that they did receive, like reading the Bible or maybe learning about Puritan morals, was given to them by a family member. The introduction of state-sponsored programs began in the 19th century. At that time, the education philosophy shifted from privileged and religious information to common knowledge. In 1867, the Department of Education was established. A gentleman by the name of George Peabody donated $2 million to public education in the South, and Howard University, the first African-American university, was then established. By 1870, there was a public school available in every single one of the states. But unfortunately, the public school system went through an economic depression, and by 1873, most of them shut down. By 1920, the education system had bounced back. The Association for American Universities was established in the year 1900, and then the Progressive Education Association was established, and they made it so that all 50 states provide transportation to school children. During this era, segregation was also addressed with the Brown versus Board of Education case, and after that major decision, a lot of schools in the South began desegregating their students. But as segregation came to an end in the 70s, a new problem began to arise: technology. Real quick, before we get into the next section, if you're enjoying this content, if you're getting any kind of value from it, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you smash that like button and definitely hit that notification bell so that you get notified the next time that we drop a video. In the 70s, calculators and PCs made their way into the classrooms. In the 80s, computer-aided learning was available at K through 12 as well as a lot of higher education. By 1990, there were multiple computers available in most classrooms across all of America. And all of this progress brought with it a new question: is standardized learning really the best way to go? And the short answer is no. There's been a new demand for soft skills, and this is basically anything like social and emotional learning. The Soft Skills Initiative is meant to teach children how to interact with their peers, their coworkers, their authority figures, and even their subordinates. Naturally, this will increase the overall efficacy of students as they go into their adult years. But even more than the soft skills, there's been an increased demand for financial education by both students and their parents alike. There is no official answer as to why financial education isn't being taught in schools. There's a lot of conspiracy theories, there's a lot of speculation, and a lot of those you can actually find through a very simple Google search, but there is no actual official answer. But maybe the question shouldn't be, why isn't it being taught in schools? Maybe the question should be, how do we get schools to teach financial education to kids? And the short answer is through collective effort. Adding a new item to the educational curriculum is not as easy as it sounds. There are many steps to get in front of local government councils and then eventually in front of policymakers so that the case can be made for adding financial education to schools. However, we shouldn't wait until that happens to start teaching our children about personal finance. Even if personal finance is added to schools, a lot of children tend to follow the habits that are portrayed by their parents. So the best thing that you can do for your kids is to secure yourself financially and then teach them what they need to do to make the right financial moves. There are plenty of statistics that prove that teaching personal finance to kids is better for their development as teens, as young adults, and even heads of households. And the more children that grow up understanding personal finance, the more empowered our country will be as a whole. And maybe, just maybe, the United States will get to a point where financial success is second nature to all of our citizens. All right, that's all we have for you today. If you have any questions or comments, please go ahead and leave it in the comment section below. We will address them if we can directly, or maybe we'll create a future video and address your question there. Hopefully you had a great one. I'll see you in the next video. All right, thanks for hanging out. I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you did, make sure you subscribe to our channel, hit that notification bell right there, and then you'll get notified the next time that we drop a video. Actually, why wait? You can watch this one, or even that one. So many choices. Did you do it? Did they do it?
No, not yet.
You get to keep your full gains, you avoid any unnecessary management fees, they get a new relationship, and they pay us for the work.